This episode of the Justin Robert Young Podcast is brought to you by 349 people supporting us at patreon.com/JURY. You want to know what? We're doing it fucking as live. Like, I'm not going to cut in. I'm just going to start it over again because you guys deserve to hear those opening fucking licks of the Possum Posse. Here we go. Oh shit, motherfuckers! Who's ready? And I'm asking you, who is ready? Because this right here is yet another edition of JuRY in the Day. That was a little loud. Sorry for those listening on earbuds. My apologies for blowing out your goddamn speakers. But I am going to try to blow your motherfucking mind. My name is Justin Robert Young. This is the JuRY Podcast. It's late yet again. Because want to know what? I've been a shitty host of this show lately. Hadn't gotten up on the Patreon on time. I've had to quadruple load the fucking poor patrons. The YouTube, been a motherfucking mess. But I can guarantee you, shit's gonna get a little back to normal now that we're gonna be clearing out with a few things. I told y'all at the beginning of this summer, I was either gonna end this summer happy, wealthy, married, or if not all three, dead. There were two options. One, a package of happy, wealthy, and married. And the second option was dead. We are at the tail end of this summer, and holy shit beans, as we stand at the precipice of Labor Day, we're almost there. We're almost motherfucking there, because I will tell you, dear listeners and viewers, that I am indeed happy. I am indeed wealthier than I was before, although we'll get into this with the Contender. Being a small business is weird, but wealthier than I was before. Contender funded $142,000. Thanks to everybody who did that. And as of 4:07 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this Saturday, I'm going to be married. But we're not there yet. No. The journey of 1,000 miles is only completed when you get past mile marker 999. And that is where we stand. At the tipping point of history. I'm glad to be sharing it with you, the listeners of this show. So let's go over what's happened, because it's been a fuck of a week, folks. A fuck of a week. Why is this podcast late? Enough with the jibber jabber and your excuses, Justin. Why don't we just fucking get some answers on why this is happening on a Tuesday morning as opposed to a Sunday night? Well, I'll tell you, inner monologue. This is on a Tuesday because on Sunday, when we normally do the show, we did a live stream. We just didn't call it the JuRY Show. We called it the Contender Live Stream. This is because me and John Teasdale were sitting around and we were doing a countdown as we ran down the last 2 hours of the Contenders Kickstarter. We manufactured about fucking $3,000. I was very happy with our effort. I'm very, very happy with how this Contender thing went. Few notes in the last day or so of the Contender. I think it was Tuesday night. Well, let me tell you this. So last week, holy shit, man. Last week was just fucking bug nuts. Crazy. Wake up Monday morning. We go game thing. We're going to get together all the game runners. We're going to go out to this beach town called Bolinas in California. This is north of San Francisco. It's very rarely, because the game runners, my day job, we travel a lot. We don't see a lot of each other. Every once in a while, one or two of us kind of cross paths. But the idea that all of us would be in the same place at the same time, extraordinarily rare. In fact, it only probably happens like maybe 3 or 4 times a year. It is the first time that such an event had happened in quite a bit, and boy, were we happy to be around each other. So we stayed up way too late. We got a hotel room in Bolinas. We got drunk. It was a fun time. Somebody tried to buy weed from a drug dealer with a credit card, not naming names. Okay, it wasn't me. We all, because again, these are very busy people. Game runners have a very busy travel schedule. All of us had either games or travel the next day. Much of it in the morning, if not just in the afternoon. But because we love being around each other, we figured we were going to stay up as late as possible, have as much fun as possible, and then we're going to cash in all these chips and rock and roll. So we go ahead and wake up at 6 in the motherfucking morning. 6 in the morning. Now what you want to do? Shit. We had to get up in the car and drive back to Oakland. And this fucker, it's like an hour and a half away through winding roads. Luckily, I wasn't driving. Brett was. I was able to sleep. Get back to my house, take an hour nap. I get a fucking text message from Scott Johnson of the Frog Pants Network, and he says, Justin, your normal segment on the morning stream is going to be a half hour earlier because Bill Duran, the person who's normally on the show at that time, is not going to be there. Okay, fine. I sleep for an hour. I wake up. I do the morning stream. And then I had also promised that I was going to do Patrick Beja's show, Pixels, talking about the Hearthstone expansion, the Grand Tournament, with the Earl of Wines, Garrett Weinzierl, of the newly minted 100-episode Fortified Angry Chicken podcast, the best Hearthstone podcast on the planet. We start chatting and bullshitting. I do 2 podcasts from my car, right? 2 of them. One smoother than the other one. I also do the Patrick Beja podcast while I'm packing for my games in Seattle, which is where I'm going. Now, you might ask yourself, Justin, we've heard you talk about moving your flights right there on your phone before. Why didn't you just fucking move your flight? Well, I'll tell you. I couldn't. I had to get to Seattle on the 12:40 flight so I could land by 2 o'clock. It was later. It was like I landed at like 4 because basically I had about an hour and a half after we land, could take care of all my shit. I got to get a rental car, drive out. I have to scout a game zone in Washington, in Kent, I think. Maybe Kent. Kent? Is there a Kent? Kent? It might have been Kent. I don't know. I scout this game zone. And then I got to come back and I got to do Night Attack. Now, I can't miss any of this shit because my game the next morning was at 8 in the morning. 8 in the morning. So what you want to do? Shit. I had to go ahead and do the fucking scouting, do the Night Attack podcast, write the game, wake up 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to, there was like some other, getting the game together cruft that I had to take care of. Do the game 8:30. Whew. That's it. I'm done on a Wednesday morning. Got to figure out the rest of what is happening. Meanwhile, immediately my brain's got to switch to contender shit because we are in the last week. Also, we had just hit $100,000. Yay! $100,000. We're so excited. Know who else is excited? My buddy Andrew. Holy shit. My best friend, Andrew Main. He is supportive to the fucking end and tweets out a congratulatory and celebratory tweet that I passed $100,000. God damn it. He's a good fucking fellow. You know who retweeted Andrew Main's tweet? None other than a man for whom was, for a good period of time, my favorite wrestler. Not Stone Cold Steve Austin, not The Rock, not Goldberg, not Hollywood Hulk Hogan, not the Macho Man, Randy Savage, no. Because there was a point while I was very much into wrestling in my teenage years that there were two very, 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 very cool things happening. In fact, they might be the coolest things at the time. That was the WCW Cruiserweight Division and the NWO for life. And there was one man at the nexus of both. He was the longest reigning WCW Cruiserweight Champion and also a member so ingrained into the New World Order that his very moniker belayed when he joined. SYXX6, knee, as he joined later in the Degeneration X faction, x-pac. Sean Waltman, retweets Andrew Main. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? What kind of... This has got to be a bot, or it's like something that like says it's Sean Waltman, but it's not really. It's like the real X-Pac is his handle, so I'm sure it's like real with 2 E's, and he also does movie reviews, or it's XPAK or something like that, and he's Gregory Pac, and he wrote Planet Hulk. I look into it. Fuck no, it's the goddamn real X-Pac. Charter member of D-Generation X and the New World Order, which means that motherfucker can cash checks on 2 reunions. Good on you, Sean. This dude loves the idea for the contender and loves the video. Starts DMing with me. I still got to send him a press tag. I'm sorry, X-Pac. And this is just blowing my mind. So that's happening. I'm sleep deprived. I've barely gotten any rest. The contender's just gone over $100,000. Fucking X-Pac is contacting me to say, hey man, great job. And I'm like, hey man, great job beating Chris Jericho at Halloween Havoc 1997. And then I start getting all these emails and text messages about the contender from our internal Slack, and like everyone's freaking out, and it's at that point that I just shut my brain off. And it's just like, we can't focus on this as much anymore. Like, if you look directly into the sun, you're only going to burn your eyes. And it's at that point that I will tell you when things took a turn from the sublime to the weird. What is it? From the ridiculous to the sublime. It just this. I'm gonna split this up. I'll be back in a second. I gotta get a glass of water because this is just too fucking good. All right. I will be right back. is the morning stream. This is my impression of Scott Fletcher. All right. So where was I? Okay. So a couple days later, Contender keeps going great. We're rocking and rolling. All of a sudden, it's Saturday now. I'm finally back in Oakland. Oh, by the way, in the meanwhile, big shout out to Bill and Brittany and April Ness, the Real C. Miller. They came out. We did a live stream playthrough of the Contender while everything was still going on. It was super, super fun. And man, I realized how plugged in we are to Twitch and stuff. Like, you know, there's just so many people that follow us on Twitch that I know on Twitch or that know of us, and you know, just the friends that I've made through Night Attack and life and everything. Like, everything's kind of plugged in. I was really bummed. I had to come back to California to plan this fucking wedding that's happening on Saturday. And, you know, I was super bummed because, like, I didn't realize how many friends we have in the fucking video game streaming community, and it would have been super rad to hang out with them. However, I'm very glad that they're all going to be coming into town for TwitchCon, which is a whole nother thing. But a huge big shout out to the Nerd Fusion crew, specifically Bacon Donut. That dude is a fucking mensch on a bench. He is awesome possum. So if you're not familiar with him, I have no idea why you'd be listening. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess we have disparate audiences. But if you're into Minecraft streaming, fucking that dude's the tits. He's fucking awesome. So go ahead, you know, Bacon Donut TV, I think is his Twitter handle. Go ahead, everybody tell Bacon Donut TV that JuRY thinks he's awesome pants in silly sauce. So I come back. It's Saturday. I'm in Oakland. Got to get a haircut. Awesome. Go ahead. Next thing you know, I get a text message or a Twitter from Joey Image, that Image guy. He says, oh, finally got an HD copy of Justin's thing about Billy Gunn on YouTube. If you're not familiar, you go back and listen to my Nerdtacular episode. I did a one-man show, and half of the fucking show is me breaking down. I'm a nice man. Yeah, I'm a nice man. Yeah! It's the continuation of a bit that I did on the show a while ago. I polished it up, turned that sumbitch sideways, and shoved it straight up your candy ass. Different wrestler. But I really liked it, and I liked the live performance. I thought it was super fun, and Joey took it out of the show, put it on his YouTube channel, and sends it to motherfucking Billy Gunn, who, as it turns out, fucking loves it and is really delighted by it, and says that it's really funny and that no one's ever broken down his song like that. He very much appreciates it. Then retweets it and says, when you get a chance, listen to this. It's funny as hell. Did he mean to put the second S on there? I don't know. JK, I do. Of course he did. He's Mr. S. Balls of glory, balls of steel. Your eyes will give away the truth of how I feel. Truth of how I feel, Billy, is you're the awesome. You're the best around. No one's going to ever get you down. Mr. Sop, cheers to you. But I mean, in the same fucking week, I have not one, but two members of the DX Army contacting me for two different things that I've done. Again, I told you guys, this was the summer where I needed to deliver. This was the summer where I needed to get my shit together. And if there's one sign that I can have, that I can always put on my mantelpiece and say, you want to know what? X-Pac loved my card game. Billy Gunn loved my one-man show. And I don't know, maybe Road Dogg will fucking, wish me a happy wedding. It has been insane. And that's before we get to this wedding. This is it's all going to go down this Saturday, 4 p.m. at the Crystal Ballroom in the Hilton in Atlanta, Georgia. In the sold out Hilton in Atlanta, Georgia. Daddy, we are going to get married. Me and Ashley Paramore. It's insane. To be honest, like, there's been so many highs and so many different things that I've had to focus on over the last couple days. It's hard to get worked up about the wedding. And I don't mean that in any kind of mean way or that I'm taking it lightly or whatever. It's just that, like, it's the least, it's like, it's a show, man. I put on shows fucking 4 days a week with the Go Game. This is a show we've been planning for fucking 8 months. On top of that, it's going to feature so many people that I love. Like, at the end of the day, it's like a no-fail situation. Even if this shit kind of goes sideways and we all just bullshit with each other, it's going to be the best. So I'm in this situation now where we got 48 hours till we got to leave for Dragon Con. And then I remember we're going to fucking Dragon Con, which is like one of my favorite things to do ever. Dragon Con, if you've never been to it, is just this insane cacophony of creativity and passion and love and it's a safe space and it's a place where people like want to fuck each other and also fuck each other, which is great. It is like it's this bizarre freewheeling a carnival of feel good. Just a rolling wheel of awesomeness. And it doesn't matter where it lands. You know? Oh, wait. I connected with somebody about a video game or book or movie that I thought nobody else read. Let's spin it again. I ran into a long-lost friend. I met somebody that previously was only a fucking line on an IRC chat. And now we are fucking in the same meat space, high-fiving so hard our goddamn fingerprints are gonna evaporate. Or, hey, I met somebody and now we're having sex. Awesome. It's not to say there's not bad things that can happen at Dragon Con. It's not to say that Dragon Con can't be stressful. It's not to say that Dragon Con is necessarily going to be everybody's cup of tea. I will tell you this, though. It's motherfucking my cup of tea. All right, I had this whole thing where I was going to talk about, and we'll just have to move it. I have this. All right, so Jackie Hearn was calling in in the after show for last week, and we got into this conversation about dudes being obsessed with their dick size, and I kind of polished that up a little bit, and I want to talk about it, but I can't do it now. Also, I got this whole grand unifying theory on the evolution of Barack Obama to Donald Trump to Kanye West that I want to do, but I really need to work on that a little bit more so it's not as political. Instead, I'm going to be sweet. I'm going to be sweet, and I'm going to tell y'all a story about the love of my life. I'll be right back.
I'm a nice man. Yeah, I'm a nice man.
Me and Ashley do a podcast. It's called JuRY. More technically, that's what we're going to do when we get married on Saturday. This is a story we've kind of told on JuRY More, but I feel like not everybody listens to that show. You might listen to this show, and it's something that's important to me as I reflect on the woman that I'm going to make my wife this Saturday. Quick note on where I was in my life when I met Ashley. I had broken up with a girlfriend that I had for about a year. Maybe it was even a little longer. And it was about that time that I started doing live streams with Brian. We started doing BB Live Show. In fact, if you watch some of the early BB Live shows, you'll hear me say a phrase that I broke up with my girlfriend so I could marry the internet. And that was absolutely true. You know, and we didn't break up because I was like, I want an internet. You know, it was more just that I knew I needed to throw myself into doing stuff. You know, there are certain kinds of people in this world, and it's not to say that one's wrong. You know, it's just a mismatched puzzle piece. And my ex-girlfriend wasn't a bad person. She was a very, very good person. She was a kind and giving and caring person. But she wanted somebody to settle down with. And it's not like I'm looking at that in the way that, like, yeah, no, daddy's got to fuck. Like, oh, no, fucking need a little strange, a little, you know, it's like not like that kind of settle down. But the idea that, hey, we're on a track. We're dating for a year. At about the 1.5 year mark, we should talk about getting an apartment together. At the 3 year mark, we should talk about marriage. At the 5 year mark, we should be talking about kids. And if we miss any of these deadlines, it's going to be a fucking issue. And, like, I get that even. Because there's a lot of people who really want that and are their best and most productive within that structure. Mazel tov. But that ain't me, babe. It wasn't. And that's where we kind of ultimately came unglued. And that was fine. Because I channeled a lot of whatever residual emotion it was, was into the internet stuff that I was already doing, like eye tricks. I think Weird Things might even have still been going at the time. The website, not the podcast. And this whatever strange fucking live wire was going on with Brian Brushwood. So that happens for about a year. And, we've told this story, but Brian met Ashley because Ashley worked at a student group when she was going to school at Ohio State University. She booked Brian for his Scam, Sasquatch, and the Supernatural thing. So Brian and his young ward, Chad Johnson, now fucking internet superstar, God bless the red-headed, handsome devil, is going to be there at Dragon Con in the next few days. Come on up to Columbus to do the thing, and they hit it off. And Ashley is at that time very much plugged into the YouTube atheist scene and is cranking out her videos on Healthy Addict, youtube.com/Healthy Addict. But she wants to do live streaming. And she's like, well, I've seen you do live streaming. How do you do live streaming? And Brian says to her, well, hey, listen, man. I don't know shit about ass when it comes to live streaming on a Mac. You need to talk to my buddy, Justin. So understand that, man. In this sliding doors world, we do not know what minutia is the fucking peg that hits our Plinko chip where it ultimately goes. The pivot point on this story is that Brian has been absolute in his PC Master Race stance and has no interest beyond the mobile sphere of touching anything created by Apple Computer. God bless this blue screen of death-loving motherfucker, because if it's not for that fact, I'm probably not getting married right now. So I start talking to Ashley about live streaming. I think it was on Cam Twist at the time. Fuck me. Jesus, I'm old. And we kind of, we're talking, we're bullshitting. She seems very, very nice. I very much enjoy her. In fact, I enjoy her so much that I look up on her Facebook just to see what she looks like. And I'm like, damn, she's cute. So we meet at Dragon Con. We hit it off. Hook up. Now, I don't want to get personal, but, we had intercourse. guess that's personal. I guess I do want to get personal. I guess I did just get personal. We've joked about it a million times, right? That's fine. I'm not going to get, this isn't, I'm not in trouble. Am I in trouble? I'm not in trouble. Okay. But here's the thing. She is getting out of a fucking long-term messy relationship. I have just gotten out of a relationship. There ain't no goddamn need for us to, however much we enjoy each other, both of us are fucking absolute. And like, listen, and this is us saying simultaneously. In fact, imagine that we are fucking both half fated, like Fievel and his sister in the Somewhere Out There part of an American Tale. Except instead of like somewhere out there where we're like fucking finishing each other's harmonies, we're just both saying in unison, like, I hope this bitch don't catch feelings. Like, that's it. Imagine that. We're both saying that because that's what was happening. We're both behind each other's back saying, I mean, listen, really cool. Another time, another world, maybe we could be something. But like now, no. Like that's, come on. I hope, let's just not catch feelings. Okay? All right? This is a cross-country sexcapade. That's what we're doing. Because again, she at the time is a traveling fundraiser. And there's a lot of funds to be raised in Florida because there's a lot of rich people that live in Florida. I lived in Florida at the time. She would end up down in South Florida. Now, also, what's happening is I'm traveling on a lecture tour with Andrew. We're booking lecture tours all over the place. A lot of them are in and around the central part, Middle America that Ashley is living in Columbus. A lot of Mid-Atlantic, Eastern Seaboard stuff that she happens to be around because she's also traveling. So we see each other a fair amount. And we're both like, listen, sure, we have a good time. And yeah, we talk on the phone a lot. And yeah, we exchange a lot of emails. And yeah, we see each other and have sex. And yes, technically, if you want to be a feature list whore, you could add up all those features and you would have a healthy functioning relationship. But that ain't me, babe. Just like the same thing as me and the ex-girlfriend. We're just both like, that ain't me. I'm not the sucker that's going to be in a long-distance relationship. It stinks like assholes. It's not going to work. It's only going to be heartbreak for both of us. Let's just stick to the good shit. We like each other. We're friends. When we see each other, we have sex. Fine. So it keeps happening, right? It continues to be a thing for a year, to the point where I'm in the Ritz-Carlton and I'm like, hey, listen, this is a year after we met, DragonCon, the next year. I was like, well, why aren't we like dating? That was the first time it kind of got brought up. I was like, well, I mean, like, why isn't that a thing? Like, I know it, like, and even like, I'm not really even super picky about it. Like, I don't know. It would just hurt me if you started dating somebody else. She was like, geez. I don't know. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. That was the first time it got brought up. Now, it didn't get brought up for years and years and years after that. Maybe about a year and a half, actually. And eventually, we kind of got to a point where we were like definitely dating. We were calling each other every night, and it was a thing. But there was always this like fucking looming death at the end of it. We just knew it was gonna end. There was a predetermined ending. Like you couldn't escape it. We both saw our own gravestone when we peered into the future, or at least the gravestone for this relationship, which in a way helped us be more honest, I think. Because like, fuck, man, there ain't no problem. You might as well be honest with somebody whose relationship is not going to last. And I would visit, she would visit, but we knew there was an expiration date. So a bunch of other ancillary shit happens. It becomes clear to me that I need to leave Florida. More specifically, I need to leave Florida because there's an opportunity for me out here in California. It's the go game. So I call her. I'm like, hey, listen, what do you think? Because it was hard. It was hard to leave Andrew. Andrew was, someone that is one of the most important people in my life. In many ways, Andrew saved my life. I was in a pretty poor emotional spot before Andrew took a chance on me. It's hard to leave somebody like that. And Ashley's like, hey, listen, like, it ain't about Andrew. It's about you. You got to go. And also, I would lose respect for you if you didn't. And it's at that point that I kind of realized what a real relationship is. It's not that you're just fucking tying yourself to somebody. It's not that you are just taking out an infinite loan of credit on their patience and support. A relationship, a real relationship, is making each other proud. A real relationship is putting in the effort to make sure that you are the person that you want to be in the other person's eyes. You need to be better for them. And that was the way that I could get better. It needed to happen. It wasn't comfortable. It was weird. It was hard. It was different. But I needed to do it. And I did. Now, lost in all that is the fact that, if I hadn't moved, my relationship with Ashley would be over. Because she wasn't going to move to Florida, and I wasn't going to fucking put pressure on her and to do it. And I fucking sure as hell wasn't going to move to Ohio. What the fuck? Snow? Gross. So I moved to Oakland. And she comes out to visit me in Oakland. And I put the pitch. And I was like, hey, by the way, why don't you say you move out here? Live with me. We'll live together. Also, P.S., we've been dating for fucking 3 years, and we've never lived together. Well, whoopsie doodle. Hope that doesn't fucking end in failure. She moves out. It doesn't. It's great. It's amazing. And here we are now, man. Life's good. A lot of the projects that I've been working on for fucking years have borne fruit, the likes of which I couldn't imagine. X-Pac and Billy Gunn are fucking seeking me out to say thanks and good job. And on this Saturday, that woman that I met at DragonCon in the Hilton, that woman that I asked to date long distance, futilely, in the Ritz-Carlton, she's going to be my wife in the Hilton. And then we're going to go back and stay in the Ritz-Carlton. And I couldn't be more happy.
I know what you're thinking. And you're wrong. You're thinking, I don't have the guts. I don't have any alternative. Tonight, I have to do something that even I will regret.
Play your part.
My bitch a choosy lover, never fuck without a rubber, never in the sheets like it on top of the cover. Money on the
You can write this show, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Again, JustinRobertYoung@gmail.com. Put JURY in the subject line. A little bit of a programming note. There will be no episode next week. I'm on a fucking honeymoon in Jamaica. This first one comes in from Nicholas. Hi, JuRY. I'm writing to this as I sit in the parking lot of a job I was just fired from. I only had it for a few months. It was the first job I could get after dropping out of college. The job sucked. I hated most of it, but it wasn't income. It was my only source of possible income. I'm not eligible for financial support from my government for another year. Sweden is amazing in a lot of ways, but in this regards, things sure could be better. As I'm writing this, I'm crying for the first time in 6 years. I had no idea it would hit me this hard, but it did. As I'm coming to the end of this, I'm realizing I don't actually have a question. I know what to do. Get back out there, find something else. Somehow, I guess I just needed to vent. Thanks for reading. And Nicholas is in Sweden representing the Diamond Club and wishing that he could be in chat realm, but, time zones. Nicholas, understand this. What you are doing right now, the emotional wreckage for which you're experiencing, is a fucking plate of armor that you are forging, and you are going to wear it fucking well, because the people that don't do this, that don't get punched in the gut early in life, oh shit, man, you don't want to see them when they get punched in the gut later in life. They fucking fold. They fold like a house of cards. They dissolve like a fucking sugar cube in the rain. You, Nicholas, when you get to where you need to be, you're going to fucking know what that pain is. You're going to know what a setback really means, and you're going to be far better for it. Gina writes, I think you mentioned not being so keen on the fight song. Well, if that's not right, I'm going to blab about Fight Club or Fight Song. Brace yourself. It resonates with the addict inside of me. Fuck! God damn it. If y'all didn't hear, on the episode, I was making fun of modern pop songs, and one of them was Fight Song. I was making fun of it for being empty, and now Gina's gonna fucking make me feel bad because it resonates with the addict inside of her. She writes, wanting a specific moment to turn things around. I feel vague and big and confused all at the same time. So when a simple song comes around with a catchy tune attached, I latch on. Maybe that just makes me a simple person. I hear it and I rally when I feel weak, when I feel I can't get out of bed. In my opinion, this song makes me think about coming out of addiction and accepting sobriety and the people who believed that you can do it. Okay, Gina, it's not that I don't think that people can get good worth out of pop songs, or that pop song specifically. The issue I have with that pop song is that it is designed to be the Rorschach of feel-good pop songs for women. Like, it deliberately doesn't tell a story so you can tell your story within a very simple structure. And that's what I was making fun of it for. Not to say that it's bad or you can't do that in a pop song. It's just, I find it to be a little funny. And it's not, it ain't fucking like Simon and Garfunkel telling a story. It ain't Outkast telling a story. Tell a story. I like the stories. Jessica writes, Dear JuRY, here is why the shower curtain issue happens in our home. I went on this big rant about why shower liners are ever out of the fucking tub. It's the weirdest thing to me. I can't figure it out. Why do you fucking have a shower liner outside the tub? She writes, we have 2 toddlers. Fuck. God damn it. Why? I'm trying to go on rants here, people, and you keep fucking making them wrong. All right, here we go. Jessica writes, we have 2 toddlers, 3 adults, and 1 shower tub combo. Holy shit. You guys are fucking amazing. So in the morning, the 3 adults shower. My husband and I shower together. The liner's in the tub. By evening, it is dry, and that's when we attempt to bathe the children. The liner comes out because the kids try to hang themselves on all things. Water gets everywhere, regardless of the curtain screens and gravity. By morning, the floor is dry. The liners move back to the proper position. Why just the liner phenomenon? People who live alone don't need them. Number 2, kids hang themselves on everything. Anything not spot welded in place gets ripped off immediately. These are just possible explanations, but when and if you are in our humble trailer in beautiful Allendale, Michigan, I shall remember your preference. Well, thank you very much, Jessica. And holy shit, man, that is heroic that you are sharing a shower with that many people. Gabrielle, our transgender liaison. She is an ambassador for anybody who is curious and very willing to explain any issue that you might find confusing to an open-hearted soul. Wrote in an amazing email about the difference between transgender and transsexual based on the question that we submitted or that was read on the podcast last week. I don't have time to read all of it. We are already kind of long on this episode. So what I need you to do is go to diamondclub.reddit.com reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamond club and read the full email because I put it in there. Gabrielle's the best. Thank you very, very much. The Cliff Notes version is that transsexual is a term that has fallen out of favor among many transgender people, largely because the word sex is involved in it, and therefore it is not in reference to sex as in a clinical definition, but rather sex as in a biological. Here, let me just read this part. The word transsexual is a term that has fallen out of favor among many transgender people. Some older, over 45-ish years of age, trans folks still use the word, and it varies from region to region, culture to culture. The term generally refers to people whose biological sex, what's between their legs, is not congruent with their gender identity, what's between their ears, and seek to correct this medically via hormonal and or surgical means. There are a variety of reasons transsexual has fallen out of favor, one of which is to remove the quote-unquote sex from it. Society has a very strange relationship with anything sexual in nature. The porn industry is booming for obvious reasons, and at the same time, much of society, likely many people who invest in porn in some way, shape, or form, also spend as much time demonizing anything and anyone having to do with anything sexual in nature. Sex sells, but it's also an avenue for shaming, demonizing, discrediting people. Transgender is not the new term for transsexual. However, transgender is an umbrella term that refers to many categories of people, including transsexuals, trans women, trans men, genderqueers, cross-dressers, and Kevin Bacon, focusing on people who may have been classified as transsexuals. Before, the respectful term for people would be trans women or trans men, depending on their target gender identity. Someone born with a penis but identifying as a woman is a trans woman. Someone born with a vagina identifying as a man is a trans man. I'm a trans man. Bam, bam. Thank you very, very much to Gabrielle. Again, the open-hearted element of this this group just fucking brings a goddamn tear to my eye because we've gotten so many emails saying, hey, listen, this is a safe spot where I feel it is comfortable to ask questions that illuminate my worldview. If that's the case and people want to share their experiences, then it's the only reason why I do this. But if you find yourself on your way to Atlanta, what do you say we both just leave? If you find yourself at the Hilton Crystal Ballroom at 4 p.m. on Saturday, if you find yourself watching me and the love of my life get married, then I want you to gaze into my eyes as I gaze into yours. I want you to feel the love of not only our union, but also Dragon Con in general. And I want you to remember to carry along in your deepest, darkest moments my reminder to you to please don't die! A reminder that you can find the podcast on Stitcher, iTunes, or some other shit. Email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line. Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat at Justin R. Young. Periscope as well. And hashtag join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.